Three ASX stocks, three massive rebounds today, and the big question, have we seen the major lows come in and are we about to see huge rallies next? We answer all that and much, much more and highlight these specific levels you need to know to navigate these stocks like a pro. Backed by Australia's leading government accredited share trading education and supported by major media outlets Australia-wide, I'm Philip Tortevsky, joined by senior analyst Pedro Banales, and we are Wealth Within. Good evening, mate.
Good evening, Phil. What an interesting reporting season it has been so far.
It sure has been, and we're going to dive into three absolute ripping stocks right now. So let's get straight into it. Now, first up, we have JB Hi-Fi, which has seen a massive rebound today after releasing half-year results. Now, JB Hi-Fi delivered a strong first half with sales up 7.3%, earnings before income tax rising 8.1% to 454 million, and earnings per share up 7.1%, while lifting its interim dividend 23.5% to 210 cents per share. Now, with margins expanding, solid comparable sales growth and a net cash position of 489 million, this result reinforces its resilience despite ongoing retail market uncertainty. But let's get to the chart now, Pedro, because this is the important stuff for me with JB Hi-Fi. I wanted to raise a few things. Firstly, this is this week's price action, and more importantly, this is today's price action. We have seen huge buying come in on JB Hi-Fi. We have not seen this kind of buying come in for a very long time. I mean, even if we go back literally months, we might have seen some gapping, but a one-day move with this kind of volatility just speaks to the fact that buyers have come in. We're still during the day here, so it's important to see how the market closes. But before we get back to that, I think what's interesting right now, obviously JB Hi-Fi they've reported well. Buyers have bought the news coming in following a really significant correction. So is this one of those buy the dip scenarios? And what I find interesting for JB Hi-Fi, it is a big stock in the sector that it's in. It is one of the leaders. Really, throughout history, this stock has shown really strong price appreciation and finding ways to go higher over time. This pullback here at 40%, when you measure it with all the pullbacks in history, it's thereabouts. It's not at the extremes which we saw during the GFC period, which was 58%. Following the GFC in 2009, we saw another 60% correction, but you take those away, and obviously the third one there is COVID that are more. So you're talking a financial crisis and COVID, two of the three scenarios where this one's pulled back more. And there are a few things with the way it's unfolding. So right now, what I mean by that is we're in the, vicinity for if this stock were to rebound, that it should start to do things from here, barring a financial catastrophe or an economic catastrophe, which we're not in right now. And the way it's fallen, I think is very interesting, Pedro, for me. If we look at how this has fallen, it's literally just nosedived. And if you look at the other periods throughout history where it's just nosedived, here it had a bit of a dive and a structured move. This was more structured, so it lasted for longer. Quite structured, quick dive, quick reversal, quick dive, and then base and reversal. So right now, I think this is a definite must watch on the back of what has happened with the news. And, sometimes it can be just as simple as, I'm not going to dive into the confirmation of things when it is likely to say with confidence that the low is in and we're going to see a move up. That is stuff we do teach. So I'll get into that in a second in terms of where you can find all that out. But I think on a real basic level, what's really interesting, and this is some other stuff we do teach in terms of just really measuring price. I mean, I'll get your thoughts on this, Pedro, because we see people come to us and they say, oh, yeah, what about this indicator? What about that indicator? And it's like, mate, first, you've got all the information you need staring right in front of you in terms of what price is telling you. From a sentiment point of view, what's the purpose of adding all these averages and lines to take away from understanding the raw data and information? And I say that because if you look at this week's bar, if we finish the week like this with a really strong outside, strength bar where the lows have come in, buys have picked it up, and we've shown real strength if we close on that high for the end of the week. We are on a Monday, so hopefully this lasts into Friday. But if it does, and you scan your eye over through the history of this chart, have a look at other moments where that kind of price action has come in, around a major low. And I keep scrolling back, around a major low, around a major low, around a major low. I can keep going throughout the whole history for this stock to show you that around a major low. And I'll keep zooming it out to show you there it was during trend around the biggest major low. So you can see that what I'm talking about here is understanding the dynamics between buyers and sellers on a raw basis. And so for that fact, yes, we're early, but if we do close high this week, I think JB Hi-Fi is a stock that is a must watch right now, and getting that confirmation is the next step in terms of finding that opportunity. That stuff we do teach. Please go and check the website out or get into this book. It is How to Beat the Managed Funds by 20%. It is free. You just have to pay the shipping. The link is in the comment section below. But if you do want to learn the confirmation side of things that I'm talking about and learning how to sell right, that's another very important aspect. Please go and check out the website. Go and check out the testimonials and see some of those trading courses, especially the diploma of share trading and investment. I've said a lot, Pedro, and I've taken no breath, so I'm probably due for one. But going back to that chart, mate, do you want to add anything on what we're seeing with JB Hi-Fi right now?
Well, it's looking interesting at the moment. It's kind of resembled one of those tech stocks, the way that it's been sold off quite sharply. And you can see that on the monthly, it was, did shoot up since that August 2024. And then we've seen in a similar gradient, the fall was quite similar. So, just as quick as it rose, it actually fell the same type of, gradient there. So, whilst I think that it looks interesting, and viewers may be looking at these bars, these blue, all these different color bars, and not actually knowing what's going on. Really, we do teach all the different color coding in our courses, and that, like you said, this blue bar indicates a very important price action that's happening right now on the chart. So we've got volume coming into it as well. We've got very high volume, and if we do close up around that level, then it is looking bullish. For me, that's the real test. If you can break above that 82, because we've got previous resistance as well, previous support, 84 even, then that'll really give some good confirmation. The only thing worrying me is just this little gap here on the weekly around that $67. And if it does come back down to that $62, I'd be a little bit more excited, because that represents a very important level for this stock. But at the moment, it does look like there's a reversal happening and an opportunity for a possible good short-term trade.
Yeah, I totally agree. Some good points there, Pedro, mate. But next up is Ansell. We've got a third stock coming, which I think is the pick of the bunch. But let's get into Ansell now, which has seen its strongest day of buying in over 6 months, believe it or not. And that was on the back of earnings that they released today. I mean, you're all over this one, mate.
Well, it's not surprising. They delivered 19% earnings increase. So that's a pretty good result for Ansell, plus a $47 million share buyback. So they're going to be actively buying shares on the market up to a level, value of 47 million. Now, they don't have to go through to that whole 47 million, but that's encouraging as it is. It means that they're thinking that shares are quite cheap at the moment. That usually signals, quite optimistic, forecast for the company. Now, another thing that came out was that management reconfirmed earnings for this year. So they're saying that they maintain the guidance. That they're going to be the same as they said last time, which often, even though that doesn't blow the lights out for a stock, it kind of subdues the risk and the concern that investors see. So that's probably why the share price has gone up. Now, that's a fundamental part of it. Let's have a look at the technicals, because that's telling an interesting story in itself. All right, so on the monthly here, I'll expand it out and have a look what's happened. So we've bounced off a very interesting and important level, which is around the 29, say $30 if you want to round it off. It's been a previous all-time high. It tried to get above it there in 2018, spent a lot of time around that 2020, and then eventually, went away from it. It found some support around there in 2021, resistance in January 23. I mean, you're getting the idea here, guys. 20 to 25, this is a very important level. So what's further interesting is that it has broken this momentum. So this downward momentum that we've seen here, and multiple times it's touched that, it actually broke away from it in 2024. And now we've established a nice new momentum on the way up. Now, this isn't a trend line or anything like that, but it's just showing you that we are now in an uptrend. Now, for me, the critical thing here is getting above that $37. However, that doesn't mean that you can't find some type of entry around there before it gets to that level. A more conservative trader could wait until it breaks above that $37 to find some confirmation. However, another trader might find an opportunity, at these lows somewhere. We really have to wait until the weekly bars unfold a little bit further to find out what will happen. But at the moment, price has really bounced off there on the monthly. On the weekly, let's have a look what's happened. This has reversed nicely. We are seeing more volume coming in. You can see that the open is at the low, close is at the high. That's really showing a reversal. And what's interesting is that a lot of people look at candlestick bar charts. They're quite the craze at the moment. Everybody's on candlesticks, but for me, bars just tell the picture so much better. It's just so much clearer, the price action, and this is showing a nice reversal there. There is a candlestick reversal there as well. And when you learn how to read the bar charts, you can also see candlestick reversals using the bar chart, which is a nice little tip there. But I do like that. Price has found resistance at 37, and then when it came down, it found support at 38, and then came back to that $37. Now we're back at these lower levels. It could be that we are bouncing back up to that $37. So for me, a break of this momentum here is really the confirmation there. But of course, you could look for some other types of confirmation factors. But I really like the way that Ansell is setting up, and it's looking quite interesting from the long-term perspective. But also, if you wanted a bit of a short-term trade as well, and you can see that it's been basically moving up since early 2000, and the momentum is clearly up on that long term. Now, of course, if we do see a break below that $30, that's when I'd be a little bit concerned, and we could be seeing price come down to that $21. But at the moment, that's a range, $30 to $37. That in itself will tell the story whether this is long-term bullish or not.
Yeah, and I just want to bring my chart on the screen there and have a look at that, really what's happened today to hone in, because it really paints a picture. That's today's price, right? And you can clearly see from low to high for today, we've moved about 10%, close around 8. Now, we go throughout this stock, really we haven't seen that all throughout this down move. So buyers have really positioned themselves right now so far. Let's see how we close at the end of the day. But the point is, buyers have really come in at this low. Like you mentioned, for me, I'm with you, $30 is make or break. That is the level to watch for, because we're in a bit of a no man's land right now for Ansell. Given, yes, long term, we are in an uptrend, but we've had this big fall away since August 2021. And what I'm seeing right now is that range choppy type price action. And it's even more evident if we go on that weekly chart. You can see there's no real trend sticking. Price is starting to get going and it's falling back down. So it's gravitating towards those two levels, which often tells you this stock is consolidating somewhat. Maybe it's found a little bit of a resistance or a bit of price agreement at this level. Needless to say, from $30, definitely there is serious opportunity to push it up, even like you said, to that 37. So I would be watching this space like a hawk and looking maybe for those opportunities that come on those different time horizons. But now time for Aurizon Holdings, which also delivered a strong half with EBIT, or earnings before income tax, up 9% to 891 million, net profit after tax rising 16%, and earnings per share up 20%, alongside a 36% lift in interim dividend and a $100 million extension to its buyback. Just like Ansell, they are buying up their own stock. Now, with free cash flow up 41% and full year earnings guidance maintained, the result reinforces solid momentum across network and coal despite regulatory and volume mix headwinds. Now, let's go to that chart, and I'll have a nice conversation with Pedro as we do that, because Aurizon, this one here is in a bit of an interesting boat in that it had been falling for a very long time. We are seeing slowly coal somewhat get back into favour. Whitehaven's had a bit of a spring up. Aurizon's on the back of that. We are seeing the mining sector absolutely flying at the moment. And this one's in an interesting spot. I mean, really strong trend, been unfolding. We saw some consolidation. Today we've broken out. That's on news. Look at that. Really strong breakout on the buying. So let's see how this holds. But what I like about the fact we're in trend, And this is a different play compared to the other two where we're coming out of a reversal. It's more so the reversal has undertaken. And if we measure price from August 2019, these upticks here, I mean, how many of these would have suckered traders into, especially long-term traders, into getting involved in the stock? But what's different on this run is that we're up the most. I mean, these previous runs were to the tune of about 25, 26%. And if I measure this one, 25%, we're up 35%, which is the most we've been up since September 2019. And rather than see any pullbacks or any seller activity, we've seen this huge buying come through. So watch $3.90 or $4. I think this could potentially be a bit of resistance. The next level is 420, but if it manages to break through these two levels with conviction, this could go for a big run up back to 550. All that said, I do want to see some selling come in because right now we're really at that early stage of just breaking through the momentum. So let's see what sellers do on the flip side of this and on the big picture time frame, because we've literally seen nothing and no good trend long term on the upside is going to unfold without seller interaction like we've seen all throughout these periods. So be mindful of that and be mindful of the resistance coming through. But in terms of trend, this one looks to be really turning the corner here. And on the back of that announcement, which buyers have picked up, could be a nice little reversal zone for that medium to long-term play. Be mindful of the resistance. That's all I'm going to say on this one. Pedro, your thoughts on Aurizon?
Yeah, I agree, Phil. Aurizon's looking great and it's well positioned between the energy sector and the minerals and mining sector, being the logistical partner of many of the big players there. I think it's in a great position to benefit from that.
Yeah, fantastic. All right, if you want more hot stock tips, check out our video, 3 ASX stocks that could rise 30% after a huge earnings call.